What is going on, guys? Mike here with Chit Chat Gaming. So it's no secret that I love mini consoles. I mean, like I mentioned before, I've done tons of videos on mini consoles. I collect them. One of my favorite, mini consoles of all time is the Super Nintendo Classic here, as well as Nintendo Classic. But I gotta say that nothing beats the TurboGrafx 16 mini console, as well as that Neo Geo mini console as well too. I just absolutely love these consoles. They're convenient. All the games are in one. They look pretty damn good for the most part. And of course, like I said, they're just a lot of fun, a blast. They look awesome on the shelf as well here too. And really, they're very, very affordable for all games that you get put inside. Yes, they are, it's basically an emulator with some ROMs. But again, though, it's all in one place here. And for the most part, they are officially licensed. So again, huge fan of the mini consoles. Now, one mini console that I'm really, really looking forward to that I'm still shocked to this day that we don't have yet. I thought for sure with the success of the Super Nintendo Mini and then the regular Nintendo Mini as well here too, I thought for sure that we would be getting the Nintendo 64 Classic or Nintendo 64 Mini, whatever you want to call it here. But for me, now let me tell you why I'm really excited for this. Number one, I was never really a huge Nintendo 64 player. Now, I did have one. My cousin actually had one as well too. I actually started playing it with him in the very, very beginning. But for me though, as I mentioned though, I had one, but it wasn't until much later on that I actually ended up getting one. I would rent them, and my buddy had them as well too, mainly because I wanted to play the wrestling games for Nintendo 64. I was huge, I beat it, and I was huge into Mario 64. Great game. Wave Race is freaking awesome. GoldenEye, I mean, who can't say anything bad? You can't say anything bad about GoldenEye. Such a great introduction for the most part to a first-person shooter on Nintendo, and just a classic game. But again, though, there are so many great games. KI Gold, I believe it was, which was Killer Instinct 2. Of course, Mortal Kombat Trilogy and so forth. Plus, there's Perfect Dark. There's just tons and tons of games, of course. Mario Kart, Mario Party, etc. And probably other ones I'm probably not mentioning because I honestly, like I said, never really got into it, 100% here. I do, like I said, still have one. I play it every once in a while. I'm waiting for a nice little, an HDMI version of this, or somewhere, kind of like the GC HD from GameCube, where you can actually hook it in and play this, via HD, and it does a little bit of upscaling, or it just gives it a good crisp look. I'm waiting for that, something like this for the Nintendo 64, so I can actually play it, on a modern television. Of course, you can emulate, that's something that everybody does. I'm not stupid, I know that, but for me, I like playing on true hardware. But again, though, I would love to see a Nintendo 64 Classic. Again, it is emulating, yes, but again, it's officially licensed by Nintendo. You got the controller, and just the look, the aesthetics of the actual console and everything as well here too. Plus, like I said, the biggest thing, like I mentioned, is just the licensing in general here. Plus, usually they're pretty good, ROMs of the game as well too. A lot of times, M2 will port those over to the mini consoles with some of the Nintendo ones. So, again though, a couple of my favorite games, I literally only have 3 games for this Nintendo 64. I never collected. And the main 3 games, the main reason why I bought the 64 was for games like No Mercy. Freaking fantastic wrestling game, probably arguably one of the greatest wrestling games of all time. I gotta put it up there. And also WrestleMania 2000, which came before No Mercy, which is an introduction to No Mercy for the most part though. An awesome, WWE THQ Ukes wrestling game. As I mentioned, right after this came No Mercy, which No Mercy was a little bit better in my personal opinion, but WrestleMania 2000 was just kind of that introduction to WWE 2K, or WWE, sorry, definitely not 2K, WWE THQ Ukes on Nintendo 64, because before all that, we had a game like WCW versus NWO Revenge. This right here is the one that kind of introduced the whole system and everything here that we would get for the WWE games as well too. Such a classic game right here. So definitely one of my favorites. So again, I'm a huge, like I said, obviously a mini console and classic console fan. I definitely would love to see it. I'm surprised like I said, we have not seen it yet. There's been tons and tons of rumblings, tons of rumors and such of a Nintendo 64, classic mini coming out at some time, but we never really gotten it. It's been a few years now since the release of the SNES classic console as well too. So again, I'm very, very surprised. I thought for sure they'd keep rolling with this. There was also rumors of a Game Boy Mini coming out as well. Now, of course, we do have Nintendo 64 library coming to Nintendo Switch, but I have a hard time understanding this as well too. What all games are going to be bringing to the actual library as well too. So for me, I have a hard time thinking they're actually going to bring games over like No Mercy, and like these two titles here. I had a hard time believing that they're actually going to bring them over to the console. Will they bring GoldenEye over with the licensing and everything as well too? Will they bring over Cruis'n USA? Like I mentioned, all the other games as well too. Obviously, they're going to have the normal games and like Mario 64 and such. Of course, Mario Kart. We've already saw some of the library as well too. It's coming over, but will we see some more of those third-party unique games like Killer Instinct Gold and such? So again, though, I think that if they put together, and would we actually see those on a true Nintendo 64 Classic Mini? I don't know, probably not. I just basically go with some of the games they get licensing for. But the good thing about those minis, those classic minis, is that you can definitely hack them. Now I know you're probably thinking to yourself like, well, if you can hack them, you're basically playing an emulation. Might as well just do it on your PC. Again, though, it's just the thought of having an officially licensed product that looks like Nintendo 64, that plays like Nintendo 64. You get the actual, the hardware itself too with the controller and such. So again, that's kind of where it all comes into play. Yes, you can get a controller, Nintendo 64 like USB controller as well too. So I have one, but again, though, I just don't really like to emulate that much. The Nintendo 64 emulators too are a lot of times very, very unstable from what I've seen. I mean, maybe there's one out there that's really, really good, works really well, but all the ones that I've used have been kind of unstable and the games don't really run the best. So again, though, I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I've actually tried downloading Nintendo 64 emulators. So again, though, guys, I want to go ahead and express my feelings on a Nintendo 64 Classic Mini. I'd love to see a Game Boy Mini. There's just so many different ones I'd love to see. In a PS2, I've already said before, I'd love to see a Sega Saturn, a Sega Dreamcast. I mean, they could have kept going on with this, on and on and on. I don't know how well the TurboGrafx 16 or the Neo Geo Minis did, but we definitely know that the Nintendo ones did pretty well. And of course, the PlayStation 1 may not have been the best, but it wasn't that bad of a console. But the biggest thing about these mini consoles is that you can definitely hack them and make them your own. We have all these games in one location on an actual licensed console here. So again, let me know down below what you guys think here. Are you excited? Do you want a Nintendo 64 Classic Mini? Do you want them to keep on going with this? Like I said, my mind's blown about how they have not done this yet. It's definitely a cash grab that they could have rolled with. They could have made $100 easily, $89.99 or whatever you call it, or wherever you have it. Definitely could make a lot of money off these mini consoles. So I, for one, am definitely looking forward to the day that they make one, if they ever do, and I for sure think they will at some point, because even if it's just Nintendo library, they have plenty of games on the N64 to be able to do this. So guys, make sure you like the video if you choose to. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Of course, make sure you turn on that bell notification to keep updated with all things that is Chit Chat Gaming. Also, I had posted here just recently a very, very new video, first video by the way, of a toy hunt, a fig hunt, whatever you want to call it here. I'll probably be doing those more often. I did ask a question whether or not I should keep doing those, like maybe weekly towards the end of the week. I'll probably go to Walmart, Targets, and so forth, and I made Best Buys and everything to kind of check out and see what all they have, because I'm obviously a toy collector. So again, though, I'll probably be posting those, so make sure you guys keep a lookout for them as well too. So once again, guys, this has been Mike with Chit Chat Gaming saying happy gaming.